One of the most unique and challenging formats in all of sport, where team dynamics are tested and men and women compete alongside one another. Major League Pickleball is in a league of its own. The site of MLP Daytona by Margaritaville sits under a blanket of palms and humidity in Holly Hill, Florida. Now let's set the scene for day number 3. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Dominic Catalano, and man, we have had so much fun in the first 2 days of Major League Pickleball here in Daytona Beach. There is so much on the line for these teams heading into day 3. We have third round of group play for the premier level and the challenger level final. What are you most looking forward to? Well,
first you have the challenger level final. You have Bay Area, who will be taking on the Dallas Pickleball Club. Bay Area looking for a repeat of what they did in Mesa, and Dallas looking to challenge them, so that's first and foremost. And then pool play here this morning for the Premier League. It's up for grabs. It's like the Wild Wild West out here this morning.
It is. Even though we're hanging out on the East Coast, it's looking all about the West Coast, as we will actually have a cross-country battle to start us on championship court as we now look to the group standings. We start our day in Group B, where as much as you look and think, oh boy, it's a little bit of a mess in Group B. Everyone going 1-1. The math is rather rudimentary. You win and you're in.
It's simple today for Group B. 2 matches, and we are starting off with those 2 matches, 9 a.m. local time here. And like you said, Cam, it's win and you're in. And our matchup here, you have the New York Hustlers and the SoCal Hard Eights. You know what kills me? One of these teams after this match is done.
That's
and
insane.
These teams are stacked. So one of these teams right now is going to be done after this match. It's crazy to think.
Well, and what else is crazy to think is in the early morning hours here in Florida, we also got updated that Tyson McGuffin, who is a part of the New York Hustlers, had to pull out due to an injury. So we will have a substitution coming in for Tyson McGuffin. He's still on location, and that substitution is none other than Brenden Long, who is a part of the challenger level. Was very impressed with his play as you now look at Mary Brascia, who's a part of the SoCal Hard Eights. But tell me about Brenden Long and what he might be able to do in terms of filling in for Tyson McGuffin.
Again, so happy. And I'm very familiar with Brenden Long since I moved to Florida in 2012. I've been a good friend of Brenden and have played with him since then. He has improved his game immensely over the last few years. He's got into pickleball shape, and he is an extremely good-looking player right now. He proved that with the Miami Pickleball Club, and they made a nice run. They made the playoffs in the Challenger, got knocked out yesterday, and he's got his chance to shine here on the premier level with the New York Hustlers.
So let's give you a full rundown of these rosters as you now look to the ladies. I mentioned Mary Brascia. She's wearing the pink, but there are a few others rocking the pink this morning, as she will be partnered alongside Lindsay Newman to start our morning, as we will go with women's doubles first. Then we will move to men's doubles. So for the SoCal Hard Eights, it will be Riley Newman and AJ Koller. On the opposing side, Anna Bright is warming up with Lacy Schneemann. And for the fellas, we already mentioned Brenden Long. He will be playing alongside Rafa Hewett. So these 2 rosters have a lot of firepower, but also, I'm looking at the ladies in pink, there's a lot of defense on their side.
There really is. With Mary Brascia and Lindsay Newman, good luck getting a ball past them. If they're able to get a paddle on it, it's coming back over. Now, this is what that kind of challenge is going to be for Lacy Schneemann and Anna Bright. Do not go crazy. Do not try and do anything out of the ordinary. Continue to pressure Brascia and Newman and wait for the right opportunity. Don't try and force anything and get frustrated because everything is coming back over the net.
Well, there's a look at AJ Koller. Again, you mentioned the defense, but if you're new to Major League Pickleball, let's give you a little insight into how this is going to work. So we are in the 3rd round of group play for the premier level. So we will play all 4 potential matches with a potential 5th, excuse me. So we start with women's doubles. That is worth 1 point. Then you head to men's doubles. That's worth another point. We will play 2 mixed matches. So teams will get to choose their man and woman to face off against the opposing team. There will be 2 rounds of that. We will play all 4 of those games as it is still group play. Once we head to the knockout rounds, we will only play to the completion of that match, which will be 3 out of 5. Now, we could have the potential for a Dreambreaker this morning, which, by the way, I've done some math. 50% of the matches to this point, including Challenger and Premier level, have gone to a Dreambreaker. I think 16 of 32.
That was just yesterday, too. And on Championship Court on Thursday, you and I called a couple matches, went to Dreambreaker. Every match on Championship Court on Thursday in the Challenger level went to a Dreambreaker. This has got to be a record for an event for MLP of how many went to Dreambreaker. But what that says, it's the parity in our sport. That's all that's proving, is because these teams are going 2-2 and having to go to that Dreambreaker. So it's great to see in the game of pickleball.
So we get set this morning. We play to 21 total points. It's rally scoring here for Major League Pickleball. First serve. And Lacy Schneemann quick with the wrist. Graduate of USC.
1-0.
She played club tennis, and now serving is Anna Bright out of Cal. They go two straight.
So it's going to be the difference of the firepower from New York and the defense of the hard eights. And so that's what's going to come into play here. And right now, it's all about the firepower from New York.
Lacy Schneemann.
Right down the line, a little flip past the backhand of Lindsay Newman. And New York off to a great start.
It's all Lacy Schneemann to get started. They are up 4-0.
Tyson McGuffin, even though he's not playing, he is sidelined supporting his team right now. He is in Lacy Schneemann's ear.
Massive counter from Mary Brascia, who puts up the finger saying that's well out of bounds. Mary Brascia out of Mission Viejo, California. It's one of the most electric highlights in all of pickleball to date. And Lacy from the top level.
She may not be that tall, but she packs a punch. Her forehand and overhead as hard as any of these ladies out here. Newman.
2-5.
Another ball set long. You mentioned Lindsay Newman out of Queen Creek, Arizona. Originally out of Whidbey Island, though. She's one of 6 siblings. Her brother also plays alongside her for the SoCal Hard Eights. Approach to her game. She actually hits a two-hand backhand slice, and you see that frequently. She's all about consistency.
4-5.
Right there on cue, Cam. That is the defense from Newman and Brascia. And what I said earlier, I do not want to see Schneemann and Bright overhit. Schneemann overhits, tries to do a little too much with that because everything's coming back.
She can also go down the line.
And you're right, the key of that cross-court speed up though, Cam, is she goes inside hip. If she goes outside hip, the ball's going out. Great pull.
For the Third shot drive there, got them the 1-point advantage. Now things are knotted up at 6 apiece. We do switch sides at 11. The SoCal Hard Eights, because immediately when they see one of their dinks maybe is attackable, they immediately take a drop step and unafraid to play just off the kitchen line. There's a big drive from Anna Bright and a clean winner. Looks like she's playing singles.
A bit of confusion in the middle from Newman and Brascia as they looked right at each other as that ball splits them in the middle.
Owner of the SoCal Hard Eights. Point, not necessarily on the body there or the right hip.
No, Anna Bright able to clear herself right there and get that on full extension with a two-handed backhand winner. Unique when taking that ball out of the air from a very low contact point. She actually slides her feet together and just drops down right in place. Splitting the difference is Lacy Schneemann. Yeah, finally finding a hole, but it's created by the cross-court overhead from Anna Bright. It pulled Lindsay Newman just enough to the sideline to create the hole in the middle.
10-8, early stages. Firefights getting started early this morning. It's only 9 a.m. local time. The stands are already packed because this is what they've come to see. Just catching her a tad bit high. So the New York Hustlers find the advantage as they will switch sides, get a little second here to talk with their team. This is one of the fun parts of Major League Pickleball. It is a team sport, so plenty of coaching taking place for these teams as they've got several extra pairs of eyes courtside.
Yes, and that's the unique part of MLP is the coaching that's allowed even during play, right? Not in the middle of a point, but in between points, you hear the benches telling their teams, giving them advice, what they need to do, what they're looking for. So that's the unique aspect of MLP, and we love it here. It just brings that much more excitement because you have that close-knit energy of your team. You're feeding off of that, and these players really do feel that.
Well, speaking of energy, that guy has more energy than we know what to do with. One of the most electrifying men in all of sport. That's, of course, according to Barstool. As you see the SoCal Hard Eights, Riley Newman and AJ Koller getting warmed up. We'll give you a little insight. We talked about how Group B, everyone is currently 1-1, so these matchups this morning are so critical. You win and you're in. But how did we get here? So let's talk a little bit about the SoCal Hard Eights as they defeated the New Jersey Fives yesterday in a Dreambreaker and then proceeded to lose in a Dreambreaker to the Las Vegas Night Owls. As for the New York Hustlers, they beat the Las Vegas Night Owls 4-0 and lost to the New Jersey Fives in a Dreambreaker 2-3.
That's just such a good angle though for Schneemann. She goes inside out forehand and Newman can't reach it.
And again, finding success up the middle. That's got to be 2 or 3 now.
It is, and what the difference maker was there is that Newman pulled Bright to the sideline again, but Bright recognized that and jumped back to the middle quickly enough so that she can finish.
Out. A little long for Lacy Schneemann as she drops that wrist, tries to find the speed up.
10-13.
We had a little bit of everything in that point. Cam, lob, cross court, speed ups, resets. Wow.
That was goosebump worthy. Lindsay Newman just missing a dink there. She's done a nice job to this point, really finding some sharp angles against Anna Bright. However, Anna Bright loves her two-hand backhand roll. You can see her taking that ball off the bounce, and a lot of that slice coming her direction can actually sometimes work in her favor.
Yeah, and she doesn't mind going back and forth with Lindsay Newman cross court right there because, like you pointed out, Cam, she loves the two-hand roll cross court dink, and so she's just sitting in that, right? She'll groove all day. Everyone thinks Anna Bright's this big, powerful player. She is, but what she's added is that control and that kind of patience throughout a point. She's doing that and setting up Lacy Schneemann right now. It's kind of nice to see that, even though Schneemann's on the right side, she's the one being able to step in because Anna Bright's setting her up.
Well, and they are a unique combination in the sense that Lacy Schneemann actually prefers to play on the left, so she's a little more uncomfortable on that right side, but still finding plenty of offense, that's for sure. So Anna Bright again played her tennis at UC Berkeley. She was ranked as high as number 13 in the country. That's pretty wild. 20-3 was her record in the spring of 2021. She's also an MLP champion back in Newport Beach in 2022, where she was a co-MVP.
Right on cue, Anna Bright just being very comfortable going cross court with Lindsay Newman, one of the best in the game going cross court.
16-10.
Strong shots coming their direction. Offense versus defense. A little too much offense on the side of the Hustlers.
11-16.
There from Schneemann, but again, with a little bit of a lead, it's a more aggressive shot. I don't mind it. Good setup from Bright. Getting a little handcuffed right there. The ball right at her feet, but again, it's the aggressive dinking of Anna Bright. It's putting pressure on Lindsay Newman now. I'd like to see. I'd like to see Newman and Brascia go a little more middle or to the forehand side of Schneemann. I know it's dangerous, but if you keep it low, Schneemann's not going to be able to attack it.
strategy, right? Oftentimes you look at these two and think maybe most of the firepower is going to come from the outside of the court for the New York Hustlers. The two-hand backhand of Anna Bright and that forehand, Lacy Schneemann.
Said it, Cam, even though they didn't come out on top, it was better point construction, but they need an answer quickly here as Bright and Schneemann are 2 points away from getting that women's doubles point.
Add one more, so 20-13 for the first time today. We hit the freeze. You must have the serve to win the point, and the New York Hustlers maintain possession.
Lacy Schneemann going for it on game point right there with a little shake and bake. Not able to convert, so Hard Eights get that side out. But they have a ton of work to do to get back in this game.
So the Hard Eights still remain at rally scoring. It is until they reach the 18-point mark, but now it's the second shot for the New York Hustlers to put the first points on the total match score. The fist pump for Lindsay Newman.
The Hard Eights went straight offense on that point. They didn't care what was coming. And they flipped the script on New York and put the pressure on them to start.
There was a little funky of a contact off the paddle of Lindsay Newman. It stayed, but Lacy Schneemann, this is just too high for her to not put away.
20-15.
Wow, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, Cam.
Unbelievable. The New York Hustlers were relentless in their approach, and they come away with a 6-point advantage in game one, 21-15, putting the New York Hustlers in a fantastic position. We will have the men coming up next. Riley Newman and AJ Koller step in onto the court to get warmed up, as do Brenden Long and Rafa Hewett. I'm Cameron Irwin, he's Dominic Catalano, and it's time to introduce you to the third member of our crew. It's another Cameron. We've got Cameron Blackwood down on the court. She's hanging out with our winners.
And in a match of offense versus defense, what's the game plan going in knowing the majority of the balls are coming back over the net?
Yeah, it's tough going in knowing that they're unreal defenders, and we got off to a quick lead, but then they did their thing and we overhit a few, and you just have to remember to hit as many as it takes. Just accept that your shoulder's going to be sore at the end of the match from all the overheads, and we were able to do that, and we got it done.
Lindsay, you were able, it's about her. Lacy, you were able to find some space behind Lindsay on her backhand side. How were you able to create that?
I don't know. A lot of AB was seeing a lot of the balls, and we're trying to dink middles and then kind of bring Lindsay out wide. And I like to be pretty tricky with my forehand when I'm playing the right side, so I was able to disguise a few and get a few behind her.
Hustlers go up 1-0. We were going into men's doubles right after this. Don't go anywhere.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. You need supplements that are backed by science with natural and plant-based ingredients and that are third-party tested. Because cleaner is better. Like Ora Organic. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at oraorganic.com.
Dulce Vita. You are what you drink.
Oh my good Lord, what a feeling. All of this joy I've been stealing. We all need someone that can make us believe. So call me a man on a mission. I'm guilty by my own admission. Locked up but I break free. No chains could ever take me. Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop now.
At From With Pickleball, we believe in the power of our sport to unite a community. We have introduced hundreds of people to pickleball by funding a 10-court public facility in our hometown with leagues and lessons to make everyone feel valued. We take that same approach to our business with personalized customer service and same-day shipping from our huge inventory. When you order from With Pickleball, you're supporting a small business and a diverse community of pickleball fanatics. We have the gear you need and the service you can trust.
Major League Pickleball, one of the best sporting events in the United States, especially the 2023 season. So much on the line, including $5 million throughout the season. Come on.
Are you doing your best Austin Powers?
Maybe
$5
million. I love it. Well, let's look now to the men's doubles competition between these two teams, the SoCal Hard Eights and the New York Hustlers. AJ Koller and Riley Newman will be playing for the SoCal Hard Eights. As you see, Adam Stone also coaching up the Hard Eights. They will face off against Rafa Hewett and the replacement for Tyson McGuffin, who is out with an injury, Brenden Long. 1 point on the board so far for the New York Hustlers. Now, as you look at this on paper, you may consider this slightly lopsided. However, that might actually not be the case, Tom.
No, do not go to sleep on the New York Hustlers right now, even with the replacement player in Brenden Long. Brenden Long, more than capable, has big wins on a ton of great players on tour. So do not go to sleep on them. My X factor and your X factor, you pointed out early, is going to be Rafa Hewett. And we all see that, right? Rafa, when he is hot, okay? But again, when he goes into a funk, that could lead to 3, 4, 5 points in a row. That's the last thing that New York needs. They need a very hot Rafa Hewett early on, and that will help Brenden Long settle into this match, and we'll have a really good men's doubles match here.
Well, and I'm also curious, too, in terms of responsibilities, as you have Rafa Hewett and Brenden Long playing alongside one another. Rafa Hewett is a lefty, so he'll be playing the right side. Now, in terms of taking some of those middles, will it be Rafa Hewett? Will it be Brenden Long? They're going to have to figure out the communication, and I can almost guarantee you that Riley Newman and AJ Koller are going to test that from time to time just to see what the court coverage could look like. Will they target Rafa Hewett, or will they go and look to Brenden Long? The first shot, though, goes to the line of Rafa Hewett.
And at 0-0, Riley Newman with a big ooh after his shot down the line. We're starting early.
Some length for Brenden Long, a former professional poker player. I asked him what his winnings were. He wouldn't tell me. He just said he never had a down year, which I think is pretty good.
That's not a bad answer. Right off the backhand, you saw it too. That ball went to the middle on the return, and there was a little bit of a hesitation who was going to take it. Hewett did take it, though.
2-1. The right foot.
And a football violation at the kitchen line. Brenden Long's toe just covering. I think mishit, but said, don't come at me with the drives.
Well, it's a good counter right there. He's sitting on the Newman speed up and goes cross court with his two-hander very nicely.
Long reach of A.J. Koller, former hockey player, now resides in Austin, Texas. Grew up in Missouri, though. Attended the University of Colorado.
That's good speed up there from Rafa Hewett in a good spot, right? Instead of trying to go real hard at the body, he finds the middle nice and low.
There. So fun to see Rafa Hewett on the MLP court. This is one of his arenas he loves to play, and he's a two-time MLP champion to this point and a four-time MLP finalist. Changing the pace and a little bit of spin as Rafa Hewett pulls the paddle down, almost creating a little backslid spin on a slap shot.
4-5.
That was a great block by A.J. Koller.
But then a great read on the other side from Brenden Long, reading that ball in the middle. He is all over it. Just gets a little too big and into the net. Nothing that Riley Newman could do there other than get this ball up and over and then hope something happens because he's in the kitchen. Brenden Long, the right decision, going right back at him.
And a missed return, so tied up at 6 apiece. Yesterday, SoCal Hard Eights faced off against the Las Vegas Night Owls. The women picked up a win, but the fellas lost in their game. Typical bar of Kyle Gates.
That's a good 1-2 combo attempt there from Rafa Hewett, but again, good counter on the side of the Hard Eights to get that ball low and a little unattackable for Hewett.
Newman with the finish. A couple balls taken out of the air. Nice volleys on the side of A.J. Koller. 8-6.
I don't want to see Brenden Long try and do too much right there. He's got a foot fault, and now he's got that. He needs to stay within himself, play his game. Don't try and force anything.
Hewett with a nice shot, but to your point, Riley Newman's third shot drops can actually at times be somewhat disguised because he lofts them a significant amount and then drops them rather shallow into the kitchen.
It's almost a tease, right? It's a bait. He's wanting you to go in and get it, and you do, and that's what happens.
Miss from Brenden Long on the third shot. A.J. Koller now with serve. There's the communication we were looking for. Who's taking middle? It's Rafa Hewett.
Huge angle right there. Again, not about going back to the baseline, just trying to hit as hard as you can. He hits a good angle and gets it out of the reach of A.J. Koller.
And a back-to-back ball for the New York Hustlers. 9-10.
9-10.
things up at 10 apiece. You can imagine if they earn one more and find the 11th, momentum will be on their side heading into the switch. Great shot from Riley Newman, most dangerous to his left side.
Well, again, point before, Rafa Hewett was dangling his paddle down by the chicken wing and saying he's got AJ Koller right there. Riley Newman, very calm and cool, goes right back at his chicken wing, and they get the lead.
So 11-10 on the side switch. We also have a group play match from Group B taking place on one of our outer courts. It's the Las Vegas Night Owls facing off against the New Jersey Fives. New Jersey picked up the women's doubles competition, and it looks like they could potentially pick up the men's doubles competition as well. So again, both of these matches are win and you're in. Through group play, we have 3 groups. The top 2 teams in each group will move on to the knockout rounds. The top 2 seeds from those 6 will then get a bye from the quarterfinals into the semifinals immediately. The other 4 will fight for a spot in the semifinals. We'll play through the group round as well as the quarterfinals for the premier level today. Challenger level final on the docket as well.
Letting that go. I think he thought they got that a little harder, a little more paddle on it, but that ball drops like a lead balloon at the baseline and lands 3 feet in.
And trying to chase that down is Brenden Long, but a great effort from Rafa Hewett as this ball hits the corner and he finds his backhand. Sorry, the highlight should go to the SoCal Hard Eights, but the effort was on full display.
Yes. Long trying to go right at the right shoulder of AJ Koller. Koller tucks it away, and that goes out, and a good start of the end chain for the Hard Eights.
Right at the right hip of AJ Koller. I believe that's the second he's missed in this game.
Well, yeah, and again, that's what Hewett's pointing out, and he said it as he's walking back to the baseline with Long. Body or hip of AJ Koller.
He takes one out of the scouting report on the other side. Body of Brenden Long. Hard Eights. There's a lot of pink in the crowd, as there is also a lot of noise coming for the New York Hustlers. And again, Riley Newman is chirping.
Again, Hewett and Newman are the 2 that are going to go back and forth. Koller, what a reset. He had Hewett backing off the line. He's in a dead sprint and just can't hit that reset clean. He had exactly what he wanted.
12-16. Oh, and a miss through the middle. Riley Newman's asking if there's a hole in their paddle.
He did. He looked, it's like, is there a hole? Well, Hewett alligator armed himself, right? Because he thought that Long was going to go for that. So his swing got real short.
Right at the feet of AJ Koller. Also important to note, Riley Newman looks like he's got a different Gamma paddle in hand.
You get the new carbon paddle.
This is on the third shot drive, ball back to the SoCal Hard Eights.
18-13.
That's just great ball movement from A.J. Koller. Line, middle, cross court.
When you have one of the almost quietest, calmest guys on tour chirping, you've done something to ignite him, and that being A.J. Koller, because Koller is staring down now and chirping back. He's not liking any of what he's getting, so he is giving it right back and getting the Hard Eights right back in this match.
The New York Hustlers now trailing by 6, call a timeout. Corey Benbasset down on the court with the New York Hustlers. I caught up with him this morning, and one of the things he told me as we have a new card system in place is he fully expects that he will be the first to end up with an orange or blue card here in MLP Daytona.
I was shocked that one didn't come out yesterday with the intensity of the New York Hustlers and the New Jersey Fives match yesterday. That was intense, went to a Dreambreaker, and they were going back and forth the whole match.
Good coming out of the timeout. Any adjustments that you see there?
No, nothing, just playing a little more clean. It's the unforced errors, can't have them. Long's had a few, Hewett's had a few. Too good from A.J. Koller, pulling Rafa Hewett really wide and deep on his backhand, causing that pop-up and giving them a game point.
20-14, the SoCal Hard Eights have a game point. There it is, 21-14. We are knotted up at 1 apiece. The SoCal Hard Eights coming out on top of men's doubles.
Well, a much-needed win for SoCal to even this up at 1 game apiece. Now, both of these mixed doubles matches really do matter coming down to it. And so we'll see who can come out on top in that first mixed doubles matchup, see what those matchups are after we get our interview from
Cameron Blackwood, who is hanging out on the court. Also important to note, the New York Hustlers are the home team, so they have the advantage as they will respond to the lineup of the SoCal Hard Eights. Speaking of the SoCal Hard Eights, A.J. Koller and Riley Newman are standing courtside with Cameron Blackwood.
A.J., what changed in your strategy now that they had to replace Tyson with Brenden out there?
I don't think a lot. I mean, it's cool that B-Long got the call up. Hope Tyson's doing all right, and no real changes. It's fun playing with this guy. We played a lot of big matches against each other, so now being on the same side of the net, it's cool.
And it was tight there early on up until the end change. What adjustments did you make to take that aggressive lead and get this game?
Well, I mean, my third shot drops were abysmal. They were not very good to start the match, and I got them down, and then we were able to kind of get into the point, work the rally a little bit. But AJ was starting to clean up with that backhand snap. I hate going against it, so it's nice that he's on the same side of the net, and hopefully we can get this first mixed doubles match.
Hard Eights tied up 1-1. We're heading into mixed doubles right after this. Don't go anywhere.
The Pro XR Pickleball Paddle answers the age-old question of how to get paddle speed and control with the same paddle and one grip, and this is it. Pro XR gives you more spin, greater control, and quicker reloads on every shot in the game, because you always have that constant feel for that leverage and control and paddle speed that we're all looking for. Pro XR is the most revolutionary technology in pickleball.
And I said, Saturday, no one's here. Right? Are you getting this? So if he wants the invoice.
Water doesn't have to be boring. Turn it up with Circle. With over 40 delicious flavors and a dial that controls your intensity, Circle starts a party for your taste buds. No sugar, no calories, and no artificial flavors. Just good times. Circle, it's your water, your way. Try Circle at drinkcircle.com.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball.
My first surgery was a total knee replacement. I ended up with an infection. They were gonna have to amputate my leg. That just was not okay with me. The moment I entered HSS, the care was exceptional. For somebody to tell me you're gonna keep your leg, it was magical. Everything is so alive because I got my life back.
1-1 is the match score between the New York Hustlers and the SoCal Hard Eights in the third round of group play here at Major League Pickleball Daytona by Margaritaville. Championship court is already rearing and ready to go for the mixed doubles competition. There's a look at brother and sister, Lindsay and Riley Newman. They will play alongside one another, but not until the next mixed doubles matchup. We have 2 still to go and potentially a Dreambreaker in store if they split these mixed doubles competitions. So the New York Hustlers are the home team. They have the advantage in terms of setting their lineup second, so responding to the lineup of the SoCal Hard Eights. So setting theirs first, it's going to be Brascia and AJ Koller. And on the opposing side, the New York Hustlers are going to put out Brenden Long and Anna Bright. So keeping their lineup the same in terms of Schneemann and Hewett, who have been playing together in the mixed doubles competition. Anna Bright now playing alongside Brenden Long.
It's a good kind of movement forward, right? You don't want to mix up too much. If they were to put, say, Anna Bright with Rafa Hewett and Schneemann with Long, now you have 2 totally different matchups. Keep the 2 that are comfortable together, Schneemann and Hewett. I like putting them second too, because if they need that match, you have the team that's played together and a little more comfortable together. But I like this team of Anna Bright and Brenden Long right now against Brascia and AJ Koller.
There's a look at Brooks Wiley, Chief Hauzon, owner of California Black Bears. They're 2-0.
They're sitting pretty today.
They're sitting pretty today, but things could still be a little interesting in groups A and C. You also saw Tess, his 10-year-old daughter, who I think is also helping manage the team.
She's doing a good job.
So to your point, both these teams are looking for just at least 1 win, because especially the New York Hustlers, they're feeling good about heading into a Dreambreaker if that comes to it, as they are fantastic singles players.
This is the start, the exact start that the New York Hustlers and Anna Bright and Brenden Long needed.
Just within the court, tough when her body is going completely forward on contact.
Yeah, and a good drop there from Koller, getting Anna Bright really deep behind the baseline.
And 1 more to the Hustlers scoreboard.
3-1.
I'm curious, because oftentimes in mixed doubles, the woman is targeted frequently. However, in this new partnership with Anna Bright and Brenden Long, where might be some of the locations that you could look for when 2 players haven't spent time on the court together?
AJ Koller dots the sideline right there. And again, it's going to be similar to the strategy that AJ Koller and Riley Newman had with Hewett and Long going middle, seeing if you can cause some confusion in that middle area.
Trying to find the ATP, and Lindsay Newman is shouting.
I think Long had it right there. He just tries to overhit this.
And that's a good sign for the New York Hustlers. Communication as Brenden Long comes across and takes the ball off the bounce at the foot of Anna Bright.
5-3.
The defense right there, and we talked about it with Newman and Brascia. Now it's Koller and Brascia playing great defense, getting that ball back over, forcing one more shot, and Long goes long. No pun intended.
You knew it was coming.
So Long let that ball go for Anna Bright to take the two-hander, and I think Brascia was shocked by it and almost got frozen as Anna Bright goes backside on Brascia to the sideline for the winner.
6-4.
Just out of bounds, but you have to like the location from Brenden Long.
Anna Bright tried to sell it so good. She gives out a big yeah, and it was at least 6 inches out. I don't fault her for trying to sell it.
She looks across the net, sticks her tongue out, and says, ha ha, to AJ Koller. Trickler going her way.
7-5.
Watch it. Again, that reach of AJ Koller coming into effect right there as he just does not allow that ball to bounce. Continuous pressure.
AJ Koller, a little different in terms of his drop and how he gets there. He keeps his elbow rather bent, and it's pretty much a little bit of a wrist pop there.
7-7.
You couldn't teach what AJ Koller does.
The poach from AJ Koller.
And that ball is going to end up a good 10 feet out, but Brenden Long can't do anything. It's just right on his body, too quick. Good move from Koller.
One more for AJ Koller and Mary Brascia. AJ Koller is really starting to move well on the court. Mary Brascia doing a solid job defensively. Resetting.
There was. I was waiting for one of these Mary Brascia celebrations. You watch her right here as AJ Koller gets that. She is in complete celebration mode for her partner.
Look at that from Mary Brascia.
Good answer there from Brenden Long as they stay within 2 here. One more point on the side of Koller and Brascia for an end change.
Points rather expedited. Last few. Seeing too many dink rallies take shape. As the missed return. 9-10.
9-10.
Uh-oh, again, you think back to that 10-point mark. Who will get the advantage into the side switch?
So Brascia almost walked off court calling a timeout, and Koller goes, no, we have one more point before an end change. We don't need to use it right now. And so now they'll get that free timeout on the end change. Good call from Koller right there. And I agree with that. I don't like those timeouts like 1 point before an end change in any kind of matches, whether it's rally scoring or side out scoring. So good call there. And they do get the lead here by 1 on the end change.
Adam Stone having plenty of words for both Koller and Mary Brascia. There's a look at AJ Koller out of Austin, Texas. Duper 6.73. 34 years old. You can see his rank. 13. Lindsay Newman also hanging out, getting ready now as she will take the court next alongside Riley Newman. So at 11-10 on the side switch. Do you think there's a massive adjustment in terms of strategy for these two teams, as you also see Anna Bright out of Boca Raton, Florida now?
No, there's not a real big adjustment. There's just more of execution style, right? And meaning that I want to see a little more Anna Bright being aggressive at Mary Brascia, putting some pressure on her. If she can do that, maybe cause some pop-ups. Anna Bright doesn't tend to overhit too much. She'll keep that ball in play, but she needs to pressure Mary Brascia when they're going cross-court there and see what she can get. Hopefully she gets the ball up, she can put away.
Brascia with the perfect lob and then misses the overhead.
That was absolutely beautiful from Brascia. And as soon as she hits this overhead, before it even comes close to landing, she's turning around, walking away. She knew she overhit it.
But to your point, the cross-court battle between Brascia and Anna Bright was found in that last rally. Get sneaky.
It's just too tough right there. That ball's sitting so close to the net. That's almost what we call a hero shot right there, where you're just hoping something happens.
Takes a shot in the transition zone, and it comes back that much quicker.
What set that whole tone was about 30 shots ago. I hate to say it, but it was the speed up from Anna Bright. That it literally pushed Brascia and Koller back off the line and set that whole point up for them.
Brascia taking a shot. This time it's right up the line at Brenden Long, and he is well prepared.
Yeah, so as soon as that happens, again, Mary Brascia calls that timeout instantly, goes to the bench. She's more upset with herself at the decision right there. And I kind of agree with her. That's not the shot to take right at that moment. She's got to stay in that and try and grind that out with Anna Bright. Maybe see if, or kind of test the waters in the middle, see if Koller can get involved a little more. But right now, that hard cross court isn't working because Anna Bright is willing to stay in it with her.
Yeah, I'm also curious. Adam Stone just went straight to Mary Brascia, still having words with her. And I'm curious because a lot of times you do want to look to the backside of the fella in front of you to see if you can keep them a little bit more honest and just change some of the patterns that could take shape. There's a look at Adam Stone and Mary Brascia. So I think that might have been some of the conversation at the end change, was to test the backside of Brenden Long. And so far he's come up clutch when he's needed to. So maybe instead of attacking there, can you just dink there? Can you get him slightly uncomfortable enough to then get Anna Bright off her spot?
100%. You can drop to that spot, but don't try and speed up to it because Brenden Long's expecting the pace. If you give him the pace, he's gonna counter that, and you're out of position because you're only 14 feet apart, toe-to-toe, kitchen line to kitchen line. So he's gonna be ready for that. She can drop there and force him into a dink. That's fine, but the speed ups just aren't working there to change that kind of pace.
So the New York Hustlers up by 3 back out of the timeout. Let's see what adjustments the SoCal Hard Eights can find. That ball had so much spin on it, it nearly bounced back over the net. And there could be a fault here.
Yes, so there's a fault because Long broke the plane before he made contact with the ball.
Now the ball is back behind here. My ruling is that he crossed before the ball. Okay, so you're not talking about, so you want to challenge? Okay, so the ruling on the court is the player crossed the plane of the net and the ball came behind and he made contact. He was on this side of the net when he made contact. He had a challenge by this team. The score as the rally stands is 14 on this side and 12 on this side.
All right, so you heard the description there as we have now hit our first video challenge. So plenty of conversation about Brenden Long on the ball. Did the ball and Brenden Long pass the plane of the net before contact is the question. That was the call. Here's a look at it. And, that's looking awfully close.
After video review, the ruling on the court stands. And it is right out 12 on this side and 14 on this side.
Getting some clarification also up here in the booth thanks to our video official, Howard. So again, the ball did not cross the plane of the net, and also Brenden Long crossed the plane of the net first before making contact, which is an illegal maneuver.
And they reviewed that, they saw that really quickly, and that was the correct call. As they're discussing again here.
So while they have the conversation, we do have a new challenge system in place for MLP Daytona Beach. Each team receives 2 free challenges. You have an unlimited amount, however, without risk, you have 2 per game. So you can challenge if the call is overturned. The team who made the challenge does not lose a free challenge. However, the team that was overturned does. So the New York Hustlers were the team that challenged the call. It was not overturned, so they lose one of their free challenges.
12-14.
And that's important for the New York Hustlers to respond quickly.
Yeah, they needed that right off the bat. Kind of regroup, get back in it.
15 left.
So Long's hitting that and moving at the same time. He's trying to bring that back across his body and get into his position. He's got to hit it and execute the shot first before he moves through. Well, it's great dinking from Anna Bright. She was on the offensive side of the dink. She put Brascia in defensive position. Though from Mary Brascia, instead of going hard cross court, she mixed in the middle right there. Just when they get a little momentum, side out to New York, and they regain their 3-point lead.
17-14.
What a drop on the backside from Anna Bright. That ball's almost behind her, and she hits a perfect drop.
Nice third shot. A few of those now for Brenden Long late in this game. And again, this is the third round of group play for the Premier level.
Hewett pointed out that chicken wing earlier when they were playing men's doubles. Long finds it right there.
Winner of this total match. Move on to the knockout rounds. And the New York Hustlers are looking like they could be one step closer. Again, the score is tied 1-1. It's now a game point for the New York Hustlers.
I said it, do not go to sleep on Brenden Long. He stepped up when he needed to right there on the last 2 points. And the New York Hustlers taking that first mixed doubles match. That is absolutely huge.
Unbelievable as we now go to a fourth game, the mixed doubles competition between Lacy, Schneemann, Rafa, Hewett versus Lindsay Newman and Riley Newman. But first we must talk to our winners. It's Brenden Long and Anna Bright with Cameron Blackwood.
Anna, being the home team, you got to counter with this. What made you choose this team, even though it's a newer partnership heading up against AJ and Mary?
I've seen Brenden play a lot. We think he's a total stud. You know, when we heard that unfortunately Tyson wasn't going to be able to play, there wasn't really much discussion on our part. I think Miami, you know, really got a great pickup in him. Yeah, so this was always our strategy. We I'm pretty comfortable against that team, played both of them a bunch, and we liked, you know, Lace and Rafa. Let's keep that magic alive, and let's see what they can do in this one.
And Brenden, overturned there on that Ernie. How did you not let it affect your play?
Honestly, I kind of want to go back and watch the replay myself because I thought I was good, but you know, that's pretty much our point. We should be winning that, so it didn't really affect my mentality. We were still up, and I still trust Anna to go cross court all day, so just keep playing our game.
Hustlers go up 2-1. We're heading into our next mixed doubles. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Major League Pickleball is brought to you by Margaritaville, Aura Organic, Knock Around, Pro XR, Skechers, and Michelob Ultra.
The Pro XR pickleball paddle answers the age-old question of how to get paddle speed and control with the same paddle and one grip, and this is it. Pro XR gives you more spin, greater control, and quicker reloads on every shot in the game because you always have that constant feel for that leverage and control and paddle speed that we're all looking for. Pro XR is the most revolutionary technology in pickleball.
And I said, Saturday, no one's here, right? Are you getting this? So if he wants the invoice.
Water doesn't have to be boring. Turn it up with Circle. With over 40 delicious flavors and a dial that controls your intensity, Circle starts a party for your taste buds. No sugar, no calories, and no artificial flavors. Just good times. Circle, it's your water, your way. Try Circle at drinkcircle.com.
Introducing Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball. They're ultra lightweight and responsive for incredible speed. They have Goodyear rubber outsoles with a specialized pickleball design for increased side-to-side stability and agility. Plus, they feature shock-absorbing foam and Skechers' famous relaxed fit design for incredible comfort game after game. Conquer the court in comfort. Skechers Pickleball, the official footwear of Major League Pickleball.
My first surgery was a total knee replacement. I ended up with an infection. They were gonna have to amputate my leg. That just was not okay with me. The moment I entered HSS, the care was exceptional. For somebody to tell me you're gonna keep your leg, it was magical. Everything is so alive because I got my life back.
The official hydration source of Major League Pickleball, Circle. Everyone's staying nice and hydrated here in the humidity in Holly Hill, Florida for the second event in season number 1 in 2023 for Major League Pickleball. Up next, it is mixed doubles competition number 2 between the New York Hustlers and the SoCal Hard Eights. Right now, the SoCal Hard Eights have their back against the wall, down 1-2. Riley Newman and Lindsay Newman, the brother-sister duo, taking the court against Lacy Schneemann and Rafa Hewett. Dominic Catalano sitting alongside me. Cameron Blackwood has been down on the court doing a fantastic job as well. Dom, where is this one going to fall?
Riley Newman was drafted knowingly that he wasn't going to participate in Mesa. They drafted him for the sole purpose of they knew that he would be able to carry a team. It's up to him right now for them to move on to the playoffs. How much pressure on the back of Riley Newman right now? If they lose, they're done, and he can go back to his house in Dallas that he just got that he hasn't moved into yet because he's been on the road so much. But if he wins, they can move on to the playoffs. So a lot of pressure on the back of Riley Newman right now in the grand scheme of things. This is why they drafted him, for moments just like this.
Sends it back and finds the sideline.
1-0.
And this is going to be a unique combination as both women are sitting on the left side in mixed doubles.
Yes, exactly. It's a different kind of unique setup.
Riley Newman favoring that two-hand backhand through the middle here. Lindsay Newman, also a fantastic cross-court dinker. She plays left alongside Brascia. Trying to take a shot at Lindsay Newman, who just ducks. Look at this. She went for the first Ernie, and she just stays outside the court and then gets out of the way.
That's the dynamic of the Newmans right there. So familiar with each other. Riley knows that Lindsay's going to go sit on that sideline and stay there, so he covers that.
Makes her the target, trying to find her so small. 4-2, Riley Newman mentioned after the men's doubles match that he was thrilled with his third shots, calling them abysmal. However, he did start to drop those down, according to him, later in the game.
Yeah. Is that good? Okay, here we go. I'm in, 2-4.
Third shot miss off the third shot drive from Rafa Hewett.
Lacy, Schneemann, and watch even Lindsay Newman finally stepping in, taking one out of the air.
Newman finding Riley, that being the sideline right there, but going just a little wide. I like the movement though. He's got that open as Hewett's pinching middle. Again, they play the game so well. It's a chess match. They know it. The Newmans play it so well, and they know that Hewett is pinching middle with his left hand. Lindsay just guides that down the sideline.
That shot doesn't work, though, from Lindsay Newman on the previous rally without her setting up the cross-court dink. She's all about disguise if she's going to be creating offense.
Exactly, and so she's setting that up and knowing that Lacy Schneemann wants to speed that up.
4-8 now.
The big 1-2 combo there from Riley Newman, and just staring down Schneemann as he walks back to the baseline.
Schneemann looking to create with one hand on the backhand side. Nice counterattack from the SoCal Hard Eights.
Good job of Hewett continuing to go to the backhand side of Lindsay Newman right there. She's going to reset that or attempt to reset it. He doubles up on that side and forces the error.
Stop, free play, free call.
Let serve.
5-10.
Watch it here. Dinks one on the left side, step and a half, and the flick.
It's the epitome of a walk-off. Hits it down the middle, and just as he hits it, he just continues to walk right to the sideline going, I got that, let's move on. We're switching ends here with a 6-point lead, and so far, the dividend's paying off with the Newmans here sitting in a correct position of where they need to win this to force that Dreambreaker.
talked about a walk-off. Well, they have plenty of work still to do before we even have an opportunity for a walk-off. The New York Hustlers would have to have a fantastic comeback here in game number 4 for their shot at it. However, the SoCal Hard Eights would need this victory as well as the Dreambreaker victory, a singles competition that has taken the pickleball world by storm. That's one of the unique elements of Major League Pickleball. You have every discipline under one roof here in Daytona Beach. Women's doubles, men's doubles, mixed doubles, and singles, all from 4 individuals residing on each given team.
This would be a heated Dreambreaker. Lindsay Newman does such a good job with her two-handed backhand. When she gets the ball up, watch her dip this front shoulder and get on top of that and get that down at the feet of Schneemann. Block there from Lindsay Newman. She'll do that too, that occasional pancake where she squats down almost scorpion style.
It's a big point for Lindsay Newman because they just targeted the exact same location twice. This one she comes away with.
What defense from Lindsay Newman. Some of those balls that are coming back and she's actually doing something with them is amazing.
Again, that's the pressure that Riley Newman can put on you, trying to force that ball to a small target in Lindsay Newman.
So New York is challenging the foot fault call. The foot fault was called on the push off on the overhead from Rafa Hewett. And what he would need to do is he would need to, after that push off, establish both feet back on the ground before he makes contact with the ball. And we'll see on the replay if he does indeed reestablish before he makes contact with that.
Video challenge has again taken place in the second mixed doubles competition. Again, 2 free challenges in each game of a match. So they reset from game to game.
We like the uniqueness of the video challenge and the free video challenges and the possibility of losing the challenges.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, it's there. It's before. What a great catch right there. It was on the one before. The initial replay we showed had him reestablished on the one, but it was the one before where he did hit and his follow through carried him into the kitchen or onto that kitchen line. No good. Great call and great eyes. We didn't see it initially.
Oh, that's a great job by our officiating crew right there.
Just throwing his hands up going, guys, that's not there. If you want to go there, that's what's going to happen. such good anticipation.
I'll give him the Burt.
You have 17. 17-7.
So Lacy Schneemann called the ball out of bounds here in the cross-court dink battle between Riley Newman, or excuse me, the cross-court dink battle between her and Lindsay Newman. Riley immediately sits down and says no, as he had a heads-up view of that call. They're going to video challenge this from the SoCal Hard Eights.
Yes, they're going to challenge the cross-court dink from Lindsay Newman, whether it was out or in. A call on the New York side was out.
Again, the New York Hustlers just dropped one of their video challenges, and oh yeah, that's looking like it's even on
almost in the blue.
Blue. So Riley Newman immediately calling for that video challenge. He's sitting on the bench right now.
There was no doubt in his mind of the challenge right there. Is he had a very, like you said, clear view of that right down the line.
And I will say, he has the best view in that situation. One of those that doesn't have the best view is the person standing directly over it.
Correct.
That's chasing the ball, trying to make a play on it. So
yes,
that's one of the really tough elements of pickleball, is actually having to call lines, and mistakes happen.
Yeah, it does. And again, no one's trying to no ill intent for any of these players.
No.
The ball's moving so fast, so quick. So yeah, so it's a tough call, but again, no one's trying to actually hurt anybody with these calls. But again, a good challenge.
Video confirmed the line call is in. The ball is in. The score is now.
Lacy putting up her hands, apologizing to the other side, saying my bad immediately.
Both Hewett and Schneemann both looking at the Newmans and going, hey, you know, our fault.
So 18-7 as the call is overturned. And the Newmans maintain both of their challenges. Now making sure we have our score correct. Should be 18-7 for the SoCal Hard Eights as they look to push to a Dreambreaker. Brenden Long getting warmed up on the sideline. They know what's soon to come. I mentioned the number of Dreambreakers we've seen to this point. 16 of 32 between the Premier and Challenger level.
Just yesterday.
And
wasn't
well,
it?
no, the first
or was
2
it
days.
the first 2 days?
Yep, that's through both.
That's still a lot.
Close out, stop play. Side out, point, 8.
Ball out of bounds off the serve as we continue back to play.
8-18.
Serves from the left. So 20-8 now. Newman and Newman with a game point opportunity. The SoCal Hard Eights pushing this to a 5th.
Cam, that is the most impressive lopsided victory we've seen here so far. I think I've seen every team get to double digits. The Newmans just shut down Schneemann and Hewett. That's the equivalent of a blowout in MLP, 21-8 right there. Great job and good answer from the Newmans to force this Dreambreaker. And Lindsay Newman wasting no time warming up for singles.
She's already back on the court. She's got to talk to Cameron Blackwood as well.
I think she may talk to her as she's hitting.
That would be new.
That's
I'm
awesome.
here for that, Cameron Blackwood. All right, let's send it quickly to Riley and Lindsay with Cameron Blackwood.
Lindsay, almost a complete reverse setup there in mixed doubles. You're used to going straight up with the women with your guys' stack. How did that change your patterns?
It didn't. I really like my backhand cross-court dink, and I could really sit in that position all day long, and that's what I did.
And Riley, you're into the Dreambreaker now, having to make that shift from doubles to singles with only Mary Brascia currently playing singles on tour. How do you make that shift mentally?
Well, it's going to be tough. You know, I haven't played singles too much until 2019 was kind of the last tournaments I played singles, but I'm ready. I watch a lot. I'm ready to brawl for my owners. The owners have been loud. The Hard Eights fans have been rowdy, so let's go.
Hard Eights taking it into a Dreambreaker. Cam, back up to you.
All right, you heard it from Riley and Lindsay. To the Dreambreaker we go. Also important to note what has concluded out for the rest of this Group B action. The New Jersey Fives have booked their ticket on to the knockout round. 3-1 over the Las Vegas Night Owls. They actually got it done in the first 3 games played. Leah Jansen, Annalie Waters picked up the victory 21-16 over Vivian David and Lauren Stratman. James Ignatowicz and Hayden Patriquin doubled down with 21-15 over Barr and Yates. Waters and Patriquin again, 21-15 to Stratman and Yates, and they do play that final game even though up 3-0. In group play, it was 19-21 in favor of Vivian David and Deckel Barr. So New Jersey Fives are moving on to the knockout round from Group B. All that is left to be determined in this group with a Dreambreaker in tow. Will it be the New York Hustlers or will it be the SoCal Hard Eights? It all comes down to this. The home team is the New York Hustlers. Away team, the SoCal Hard Eights. The advantage now resides on the side of the SoCal Hard Eights in terms of responding to the lineup of the New York Hustlers. For the Dreambreaker, Cameron Blackwood is tracking how the lineup will look. Each player will play 4 total points against a set lineup, so a set opponent. Every 4 rallies, that rotation will shift, and the next matchup will come to fruition. Play to 21 points, must win by 2. The freeze in effect once somebody hits match point.
All right, so lineup is set. So we have, to start off, it is AJ Koller for the Hard Eights will be taking on Brenden Long. Then we go with Riley Newman and Rafa Hewett, followed by Mary Brascia and Anna Bright. And then to end it, it is Lindsay Newman and Lacy Schneemann. So that's your lineups. That's the set order for singles. AJ Koller starting off for the Hard Eights. Interesting pick here. But again, you said what? New York had to set their lineup first. So the Hard Eights, this is their counter to the New York set lineup of Long, Hewett, Bright, and Schneemann.
Also important to note, the SoCal Hard Eights went to 2 Dreambreakers just a day ago, both versus the New Jersey Fives as well as the Las Vegas Night Owls. They came away 1-1 on the day. The New York Hustlers played 1 Dreambreaker yesterday. That was also against the New Jersey Fives. The New Jersey Fives walking away with the win as they doubled down this morning, taking down the Las Vegas Night Owls. So moved on to the quarterfinals and the knockout rounds.
Okay.
Also important to note, after the group play has concluded, we will have 6 teams in terms of their seeding. Top 2 teams coming out of group play. And the top 2 seeds of those 6 will ultimately get a bye through the quarterfinals. In terms of seeding, it will come down to match wins first, then games net, then points won percentage, which is formerly known as the point differential percentage. It's actually still using that same formula, points scored over the points total. So if you're wondering how those seeds could shake out, those are the areas to look for. You, of course, can find all of that information at MajorLeaguePickleball.net, where you can track all the action in each of our groups and the scores coming live to you there.
How about New York setting their lineup first? Who do they put out first?
Brenden Long.
Brenden Long, their pickup. Their sub for Tyson McGuffin. Brenden Long going out there first to set the tone. I mean, I like it. I like it. You don't get anything better than this right here, where it is a Dreambreaker to move on to the playoffs here. It's either the Hard Eights or the Hustlers. It looks like we are just about set.
And actually, it looks like we may have had an adjustment. They're putting, I think Rafa's out there first. Nope, there we go. Oh, he's faking him out.
He was keeping the spot warm. He's keeping it warm for Brenden.
I'm going, Rafa, you're throwing us a little bit of a wrench here. Some extra love for Brenden Long. He did take part of the challenger level. Took a loss yesterday in the semifinals for the Miami Pickleball Club. Facing off against Dallas.
He really helped that team get to the playoffs this year. They struggled in Mesa. He was a well-liked addition for the Miami Pickleball Club, got them to the playoffs, and did a great job, and he's doing a great job here so far for New York.
Big moment for Brenden Long. 4 rallies versus AJ Koller.
0-0.
Ball out of bounds, first point to Long. And a second for Long. He's up 2-0.
Come.
Top play. All right, here we go. Time in. 2-0.
First for AJ Koller in front of a packed house. Major League Pickleball fans are here for a Dreambreaker. Out of bounds, and Brenden Long, that is clutch. 3-1 versus Koller.
Big start, huge start for the New York Hustlers, and Brenden Long sets the tone for Rafa Hewett.
Next up, Rafa Hewett versus Riley Newman. Oh, and some net love for Rafa Hewett.
4-1.
This is fun. We haven't seen Riley Newman play that much singles in the last few years professionally in the game of pickleball.
You pointed it out that we don't see much singles from Riley Newman, but he can cover the court with the best of them. So this is not out of his reach.
Rafa Hewett with almost a hero shot on the chase, but Riley Newman ends up finding 3 points against him.
That's a great job by Riley Newman. Again, that's why they picked him up. He's clutch when they need him to be.
Brascia versus Anna Bright. Oh my, and that's one of Mary Brascia's best shots. That forehand trying to pull it cross court.
It was there, it was set up beautifully by Brascia. She just overhits it.
Anna Bright, also one of the best singles players in the world. She hasn't played as much this year in singles competition. But again, her game looks like it's still intact.
Yeah, you don't really lose that. Singles is so much instinct. She's got that, especially coming from tennis.
6-4.
Christian Alshon rocking the Bay Area Breakers gear. He'll be playing in the final today for the challenger level. Mary Brascia, she needed that one.
She got a little love off the tape right there too. Threw Anna Bright off just a tad, but definitely needed it.
Lindsay Newman versus Lacy Schneemann.
Again, this is where Schneemann needs to shine right here. This is one reason they really picked her up for her singles game.
What did you say about the singles game? She slides in for the winner.
Nobody should get that ball that Lindsay Newman just hit. Lacy Schneemann shakes it back in and keeps it alive. Wow. It's a big point here for the hard eights and Lindsay Newman to get back within 2, get back to the top of the order.
All the way from the baseline, not enough on that for Lindsay Newman. Lacy Schneemann ends up 3-1 in her first round versus Lindsay. We head to the top of the order. AJ Koller versus Brenden Long. AJ looking for a bit of redemption.
Yeah, Long had it open right there. He just overhits it a little too much.
Only forehand needed for AJ Koller.
He's watching a little too much. Tyson McGuffin with his Ferrari forehand as Koller runs around his and goes a little inside out down the line. Change it up and go cross-court drop. Can't get it up and over, and an end change in the favor of the New York Hustlers, up by 3. Koller and Long have 1 more to go.
So they take a pause here. AJ Koller, though, maintains his position on the court. 1 rally left to be played between Koller and Long. Long also grabs the ball, heads to the opposing side. Both holding their breath. AJ Koller up 2-1 in this second round versus Brenden Long.
We're watching Brenden Long walk right towards us, and he seemed to be talking to someone, but it is nobody other than himself he is talking to right now, trying to get this point and put the Hustlers back up by 4.
The tension doesn't get much higher than this. Dreambreaker, 11-8 to the Hustlers here. 2-2.
Oh, better job from Koller going 2-2 with the split, but it's still a 4-point deficit here for the hard eights.
Riley's gonna want all 4 of these.
Riley too, he aims that ball down the line, he just places it. He knows what he's trying to do here and set up.
Riley Newman notice it. Brenden Newman up 2-1.
Well, it's the two-handed backhand. His two-handed backhand is basically a lefty forehand. He's very comfortable with that. And so it's really not as awkward as a lot of people might think for someone with a two-hander.
Riley Newman again, 3-1. He's done it twice. First Rafa Hewett.
Love off the tape there for Newman. He'll take it, and they get back within 2. Big set here for Mary Brascia.
Anna Bright on the left.
Great patience from both these ladies, but again, Anna Bright just wearing out Brascia with her patience as well.
14-11.
It's just methodical of when Anna Bright decides to come up. She knows what ball she can approach on and what she can't. Brascia leaves her a short ball. She goes corner, comes up, creates the angle.
Three straight for Anna Bright. Her baseline shots are looking filthy.
5-point lead here.
16-11.
Hustlers as they have put themselves in a fantastic position. On to the fourth, Lacy Schneemann and Lindsay Newman.
A little different there from Newman, causing pressure right away on her return. She comes to the kitchen line. Schneemann not expecting that.
12-17.
Getting high fives from the rest of her team. 18-12.
18-12.
Three wins are known for fantastic line calls. Great understanding of their court position, court awareness.
13-18.
Lindsay Newman, how about that? She goes 3-1. Giving the SoCal Hard Eights a breath of hope here, trailing by 4. With a little momentum on their side. AJ Koller and Brenden Long yet again. And AJ Koller still looking to find the forehand on the backhand side. Long is just forcing the ball there.
He is.
19-14.
Double bounce, 18-19. Again, Brenden Long, substitute for Tyson McGuffin. Little did he know he'd be in this position this morning. And he continues to come up clutch.
On his paddle, man.
Match point to move on to the knockout rounds. New York Hustlers. On the paddle of Brenden Long. The Hustlers are moving on. From the challenger level yesterday to the premier level today, Brenden Long played big.
Wow, look at Rafa Hewett. He is pumped up right now, chest bumping Brenden Long. Cam, I mean, you pointed it out. He made the playoffs with his challenger level team. Now he's made the playoffs as a sub for Tyson McGuffin, and he wins it for the team in singles. Doesn't get any better than that for Brenden Long.
Just electric play here on day number 3 of MLP Daytona by Margaritaville. The SoCal Hard Eights put up an incredible fight. However, the New York Hustlers are on top and standing courtside. It is Lacy, Schneemann, Anna Bright, Brenden Long, and Rafa Hewett.
Brenden Long, welcome to the New York Hustlers. What did this team tell you before stepping out on the court this morning?
They just told me to play my game. That's the game plan, so just told me to get out there. They gave me the call because Rafa said he trusted me, and I told him when we first got out there in men's, I said, just trust me, Rafa. Yep. Let's get it done.
And you guys have so much energy on the court, in the stands. How confident are you in this team in these big moments?
So confident, you know, we're clutch. We're just trying to be long like Brenden, and we got it done out here. We're stoked. We're stoked. This was a survive and advance situation in our pool, and we're in, baby. Let's go.
Hustlers, advance. Continue on. Cam, back up to you.
Let's be long.
Yeah, baby.